Okay. Out of my wrist, counted and spin it. Mad at the coupe, mine with no tenant. Chop out the top, hit it the limits. I got some cash, I wanna split it. New paper tag, didn't wanna rent it. Too many fads, too many bitches. Roll my slime, get in my lizard. Ready to slide, you a get slither.
Hey guys, happy Tuesday. I literally just unwrapped my hair because I have been bumming it out all day long. I've just been in my pajamas, laying in bed, watching YouTube, and chilling. So I just had my hair wrapped up. Anyways, you guys, like I said, happy Tuesday. I did not post a vlog today, and I actually did not vlog today either, so I wouldn't be posting one tomorrow. And then I didn't know how much I'll be getting tomorrow, so that's like 3 videos in 1 week miss. And I know how you guys get whenever I go MIA without telling you guys what's going on. So more importantly, I actually wanted to kind of share what happened to me to give you guys a little bit more awareness about the medical field. I never thought I would have to make such a video because prior to me being pregnant, I've always trusted the medical field 100%. I have friends, family members, and even associates who always say, oh no, I don't trust nothing those doctors say, they just in there for the money, they'll just tell you anything to get you out the office, or you know, all the different theories that goes on with the medical field. But my sister works in the medical field, like she's very knowledgeable, she's very passionate, and even prior to my sister getting her master's in the medical field, like I've just always trusted my doctors. Like I go into the office, I know pretty much what's going on. If I'm sick, if I got a sore throat, if I stomach ache, tell them what's going on, they tell me the problem, they confirm it, they give me the medication, and everything is good after I take it. So until being pregnant, I've never really had to worry about fact checking doctors or ensuring that doctors are doing what they're supposed to do and not just what they want to do, and it's not really in the best interest of the patient, especially one that is pregnant. So let me go ahead, because I don't want this to even be that long. I want to kind of simplify it as much as I possibly can, but let me tell you guys what happened. So Saturday evening, I was going to sleep, and like a few minutes into my sleep, I started to notice my heart was having palpitations, and I have a heart murmur. So this is not abnormal for me to have palpitations, and actually when I first became pregnant, I was having a lot of palpitations. And me and Jeremy spoke to my doctor at our last ultrasound, and she told me it was perfectly fine. She told me it probably is not even coming from a heart murmur, and it actually could just be caused by my pregnancy, because a lot of pregnant women start to have palpitations as a normal part of pregnancy, because you know, just a normal part of pregnancy. So it's nothing to worry about, nothing to be alarmed about, or anything like that. However, the palpitations pretty much died off after a few weeks of having them consistently, but I noticed it happened like 3 times back to back while I was asleep, and I was having extreme pressure in my uterus. So if you guys didn't watch the last or next to last vlog, I told you guys when I got my last ultrasound 4 days ago that they found out that I had ovarian cyst, or a cyst on my ovaries, on both ovaries. So immediately I'm thinking like, what happened, you know, to the cyst? What if one of them got bigger? And like, I don't know, I'm having heart palpitations, you know, I don't know what's going on. The best thing to do is to go to the emergency room to make sure everything's okay, because I realized what pains I was having prior to, because I told you guys I was having some pains even, you know, a few weeks ago. However, I found out it was just ligament pains, it was just my uterus stretching, it was just my belly growing, and it was just a normal part of pregnancy. But this was it was pressure, you guys. Even when I was using the bathroom, it was getting worse and worse. Like every time I went to the bathroom, the pressure got worse and worse and worse. So anyways, I decided it's best to go to the emergency room. So get to the emergency room, I tell them I was having heart palpitations and I was having pressure in my uterus. I guess they just write that off as a normal part of pregnancy, especially once I told them I had twins. Every time I say the twin part, it's like, oh, okay, and they automatically excuse that as this has to be the reason for X, Y, and Z. But anyways, God is so good, you guys, and that's another reason I really want to come and share this, because he really truly got me through this process. And from the jump, he reminded me that he is first. He is the one who I go to when it comes to anything and everything, and have faith in him. And I told you guys that I've been watching a particular pastor every single day since I was like 5 weeks pregnant, when I found this particular pastor, and I've watched him every single day before I start my day. It is a part of my day, and like, I have not missed a beat. I have never missed a day. Even when I wake up throwing up all over the place or whatever, I'm in the bathroom with you know, with my phone or with my computer, and I'm still getting my morning fix of the sermon or whatever. So I was not able to watch the sermon on Sunday, and I was like, okay, as soon as I get home, I pull one up and I watch it, you know, I do my prayers and everything like that. But you guys, as soon as they took me to my room, guess who was on freaking TV? That particular pastor. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, this was God letting me know from the jump, he is guiding me through this. Trust in him. Trust in him. Don't just start believing everything I hear and everything like that. So I started crying. The nurse is looking at me like, what's going on? So I told her exactly why I was crying, and she was just like, oh, okay, well, okay, cool, just, you know, lay it down, somebody will be in here shortly to see you. So they did the EKG. My heart rate came back normal. All the tests came back normal with whatever they were checking. So that was really good. And then they just put me in a room and said they wanted to monitor my blood pressure, my heart rate, and all the other stuff throughout the whole time while I was there, since I was having the palpitations, and everything was normal as they had hooked me up. So instantly when the nurse came in, you know, they asked you like, what's going on? What are you here for? Blah, blah, blah. So I told them exactly what I had told the previous person who hooked me up to the EKG. And then they were like, okay, well, I said, what I want from you guys, we've just checked my heart rate, everything is perfectly fine, but what I want from you guys is I want to hear my baby's heart rate for one. Like, I know my baby's heart rates were 4 days ago when I went to my last appointment. I need to hear my baby's heart rate because there's a lot of pressure going on. I don't know if it's the cyst or whatever it is. So instantly they agreed. The guy came in with the other female assistant, and they got the Doppler out, and they proceed to start checking for my baby's heart rate. So immediately they're on my stomach area, which I knew was problematic because I've had 4 or 5 ultrasounds prior to this, and I'm like, not one time did they ever go to my stomach first. They always go to my pelvic area. So what, like, I guess a Doppler is like different, like maybe they can really, I don't know. I was just like, what? But they weren't picking up anything. So they're looking at me panicking like, sorry, we're not hearing it. Like, and I'm like, this is not like what you're supposed to be doing for a pregnant woman. So finally the woman spoke up, and she was like, I don't even think you're supposed to be up in her stomach area. The babies aren't even that big. You're still supposed to be a little bit further down in her uterus area. So the guy was like, eh. So he was trying to justify why he was up that high, but the lady was like, well, just listen to what I'm saying. So he finally moved it down. Then they're hearing some stuff. They're like, is that the heartbeat? Is this the heartbeat? I've never had a Doppler part. I've only had the ultrasound, so I don't know what it was supposed to sound like. I've heard my baby's heartbeat and I know what it's supposed to sound like, and I didn't know what I was kind of hearing. So I'm just like being as quiet as I can to see, you know, what I'm hearing compared to what they're hearing. So they was like, nah, that's not it. Moving it, that's not it. So finally they was like, I think that's it. So I'm like, okay, well, look. So I'm like, he's like, okay, we found one baby. So he looks at the screen and he's like, I'm like, okay, well, what was the number? So he was like, it says 190, and they look content, and I'm freaking out now. I'm like, 190? And they were like, yeah, it's 190. And I'm like, is that normal? So the lady was like, yeah, that's perfectly normal. Baby's heart rates are supposed to be much higher than our heart rates. So I'm like, I know that, but 190, baby A was 160 4 days ago, and baby B was 163. So how did one of those babies get to 190? Like, that is a completely different contrast. We're only 4 days later. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. But she was just like, no, it's supposed to be that high. But I'm like, I know it's supposed to be higher, but what you should know what the max number you should be seeing for my babies if you're gonna come do something like this. So I'm completely upset. My monitor thing is now going up because they raising my blood pressure with this. So they walk out the room, and I know I'm not supposed to get on Google, but I'm at the medical facility and they're not giving me complete clarity. So I decided to just Google the average heart rates of babies at 12 weeks pregnant, and it said, the first article I got to said 110 to 160. It could be a little lower or it could be a little higher. So now I'm even more upset and I'm frustrated because I'm like, if they're telling me it can be a little lower, it could be a little higher, I'm telling them that my babies were just in the 160 range and now they're completely out of it. You're telling me one of them is completely out of it and the other one you still couldn't even find that heart rate. I'm a concerned mother at this point, and the only thing I care about is my babies. We already checked me, I'm good. So then they come in there, they're trying to get blood from me. I'm like, no, that's not what I want. Someone needs to give me an ultrasound. I need to physically lay eyes on my babies. I need to have someone else measure their heart rates, because that's not, I'm not settling for the 190 and the other baby couldn't be found. So that's problematic. I'm having extreme pressure. I don't know what's going on with the cyst. Like, I've never had cysts before. Well, they said I could have had it before, you just don't know, but I've never had one rupture, so I don't know what it's supposed to feel like. So I'm just a really concerned mom. So finally the doctor comes in and she was like pretty much telling me, I'm not doing an ultrasound because you don't have a justifiable reason to do an ultrasound. And I explained to her politely, like, for one, I came here with heart palpitations. I think that's justifiable. For two, your nurses that just came in here had a hard time finding one of my babies, and the other one they found, it was extremely abnormal from what it was 4 days ago. And three, I'm having extreme pressure in my uterus. And they just told me I had ovarian cysts. She was like, yeah, but that's common in multiple pregnancies, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, okay, but today I'm coming in with these concerns. So I feel as though this is a justifiable reason that if I just told you I had the cyst, could one of them have ruptured? And if it didn't, why can I barely pee? Why am I crunched over all of a sudden? Like, this is not right. So the lady was still not giving in to give me the ultrasound. So she walked out. She walked out, and then the other guy came back in. They still trying to convince me for the blood. At this point, I'm so nauseous. I'm vomiting all over the room. Literally, they had people coming in there with towels, cleaning up my vomit. It is really bad. You know, I'm praying with Jeremy, and it's just really bad. Like, really bad. And I'm scared out of my mind. So I finally, well, after I kept throwing up, they told me they had to hook me up to an IV to make sure that I was getting fluids, because I can be dehydrated and that's not good for the babies. So I finally agreed to that part, because anything that's good for my babies is good for me. But the blood I was confused about, because I'm like, the blood is not measuring my baby's heart rates, so I'm not understanding. And I don't know, I have twins, so even if the HCG number did get higher, if something happened, you know, it's 2 babies in there, so it doesn't say, oh, the HCG number is higher, both babies are okay, or one baby's okay, one baby needs help. Like, it doesn't say all that. So why can't we physically look at the baby, since the nurses, like, she was even confused, like, why did they even do that? Like, she asking me why they tried to do the Doppler. Like, I was just confused, and the pain was getting worse. So finally she came in there, and I'm hunched over crying, literally, because the pain was just that bad. Like, I got escorted to go to the bathroom, and I'm crying in the bathroom, like screaming out as the urine is coming out. It was just bad, you guys. And she finally was okay, I'm gonna let you get an ultrasound, blah blah blah. So fast forward, get the ultrasound. The lady was explaining to me she can't tell me nothing, she can't show me nothing, she can't let me hear nothing, blah blah blah. But everything she hear, I can hear, because obviously we're in the same room. So when she's measuring stuff and turning on the noises, I'm hearing stuff, and she's making her faces. And I just was like, I'm about to fight for my baby. So I told her, I said, ma'am, I've been praying to God, and I need to see my babies. Like, she was like, yeah, like, you should be praying, blah blah blah. But I'm just like, I need to see my babies. Like, you weren't there I didn't tell her this part, but I'm thinking, like, you weren't there 4 days ago, so I will really know if my babies are looking the way. Like, I just know what my babies look like. I know, like, as a mom, I just feel like I'm their protector. No one's gonna protect them as much as I do, or as much as I can. So she finally let me see the screen. Both babies looked bigger from 4 days ago. Both of their hearts are beating, but both of them were much stiller than they were a few days ago. So I wanted to know what their heart rates were, because they were, like I told y'all last time, they were all over the place. But I did, you know, I was just vomiting, so that could have been a cause for it. So I was trying to just think positive and optimistic, because baby B was flexing his little toes and moving his arms, but baby A was just pretty much just chilling, just laying there. I mean, it looked like his shoulder moved a little bit, but it was just much more calmer. So I really wanted to know the heart rates and if that could have been the cause. She wrapped up the ultrasound, never forgot that. And then she just kept asking me questions like, are you sure you didn't get for like in vitro for this? And like, she just was making it seem like I don't know what she was like, why she was asking me these extreme questions. But now she's even like got me even more scared. So finally the doctor comes back in to go over the results. I did let them eventually get my blood, because she was like, if you're gonna do this ultrasound, you gotta let me get the blood so I can measure. I know what I'm supposed to be looking at. So I was like, okay, whatever, just take the blood. So she comes in there, I was like, oh, good thing we took the blood, because your thyroid is way off. And I'm just like how? I just got my thyroid checked like a few months ago, and it was perfectly fine. So she was like, yeah, well, it's completely off, and it's a cause for a major concern, and baby A's placenta is a little bit lower than what it should be. So I'm like, so what does this mean for the babies? What do I need to do? What can we do to make this better? So she was just like, well, there's nothing that we can do. You'll just have a follow-up appointment, and you'll actually you will see if the placenta moves. Hopefully it does, but in your notes you're going to see I listed it as partial placenta previa. So I'm just like, well, what is that? So by definition, placenta previa is when your placenta has gotten attached to your cervix and is growing on top of your cervix, and it can cause hemorrhages, blood. A lot of women get on bed rest. A lot of women find out they have it because they're bleeding and spotting, but I wasn't bleeding and spotting. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't have the symptoms, but you know, I don't want to cast that on me. So okay, if I just don't have the symptoms and it's just, you know, could be. But I'm like, so do I have it, or are you telling me the placenta was just a little bit lower, so you're just going to deem it as that, or do I actually have that? Because there's a lot of repercussions. I mean, there's a lot of precautions I have to take if I do have that. So she was just like, well, these are the things that you can't do, da 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 da. When we went over, we went back to the thyroid thing, and then they dismissed me. So the next morning, she said a doctor will be following up with me the next morning. So the next morning, the doctor followed up with me and called me and was like, hey, Miss Anderson, so we're just calling to confirm that you have hyperthyroidism, and you need to go in immediately and speak with the doctor. And I'm like, wait, what? Excuse me? She was like, yeah, we ran the rest of the blood tests, and it came back that you have hyperthyroidism, and it's a big concern because you may need to be put on medication immediately, because if you don't, something happen, something fatal can happen to your babies. And I'm just like, what? Like, how did I get this? Like, what are you talking about? So I'm just so confused and concerned about the whole procedure, process, and everything. Still didn't even get the baby's heart rates, but anyway, so I'm just still concerned, and I'm like, I don't have that, ma'am. So I don't really believe I have that. And she was like, well, man, we ran the blood, so I'm able to see like the results, and this is what they told me to call and confirm with you that you have it. And I was like, well, ma'am, I don't believe I have this. So she was just like, well, da da da. So we scheduled the appointment. So, you know, I tell Jeremy, obviously, and we're praying and make sure you know, keep our prayers strong. But on my heart, it was telling me that I need to do something else, because I'm not going to let them make me take no medicine and I don't have something. So I kept calling back, and I'm like, hey, can you give me my actual range values? Because I just got my thyroid checked and I had those results, so they were completely normal. So I was going to compare them to what they were. I was on Google figuring it out, like seeing what they said, how rare it was, and Google said that it was very rare for you to have hyperthyroidism if you didn't have thyroid issues prior to being pregnant. Some women do get it in cases with multiples, but be careful, because your doctor may try to diagnose you with having hyper or hypothyroidism, when really your thyroid is just off a little bit, because your HCG could be really high. So be careful, because you don't want to be taking medication that you don't really have to take. So as soon as they said that, I'm calling my mom, and my mom's like, yeah, we never had any thyroid issues in the family. Don't let them put that on you. Take that off your mind, take it off your heart. So I'm just like, yeah, I don't have this. Like, I just didn't feel it. I looked up the symptoms. I didn't have the symptoms, but the lady was just so adamant that I need to be on this medication, that, you know, I need to come in immediately. I'm pregnant with twins, like, it's serious. I'm just like, oh my gosh. But I was very persistent, so that's why I didn't vlog yesterday, because I was calling them back on the hour, every hour, asking to speak to someone new to give me exactly what my ranges were and to go over my diagnosis. But everyone kept saying, oh, this person will call you and tell you. And when that person called, well, I can't really tell you, so this person call you. Then that person called, oh, I can't really tell you, this person will call you. So finally, I was like, someone in that lab needs to call me. Someone who really knows what they're doing needs to call me and go over these results. So finally, you know, 30 minutes later, someone called me, and hallelujah, you guys, because I'm so glad I was persistent. So the lady told me that I do not have hyperthyroidism. My thyroid levels were off, but I had an extremely high HCG, which was 280,000. The highest at 12 weeks is usually 288,000. So I was already at the almost max number, and that was causing my thyroid numbers to be off. But what she said was the reason why she wanted to schedule an appointment for me was because they was going to run 3 more tests, and they'll have all those results by Wednesday, and I will come in to get those results to see if I needed to do anything if I had it. But 9 times out of 10, if I didn't have, she said she already had my other thyroid numbers, and it didn't seem to be abnormal. Nothing seemed to be like it would be a problem. So what was going to happen was, if all 3 of those numbers came back high, then 9 times out of 10 I had it. But if the main one came back low and the other one's a little bit off, then I don't have to do anything and there's no concern. So finally, she ran 3 of the tests, but I was only able to get 1 back so far. The other 2 won't be back until tomorrow. By the time you guys are watching it, I'm getting the results as we speak. But the first one came back and it was normal. So in conclusion, the lady called me, freaking me out, stressing me out, telling me they said you have hypothyroidism. I'm looking at the numbers, you have hypothyroidism, your number is completely off, and I don't even have hypothyroidism. So even though they have not confirmed it from the doctor completely with all 3 results, the main one did come back and it was completely normal. It was not too high. It wasn't even like at the bottom of the barrel or the top of the barrel. It was perfectly in the middle. So I'm very hopeful, and I know God is going to make sure that I am healthy, my babies are healthy, my babies are protected. Baby A's placenta is probably moving as we speak a little bit further up, and everything is going to be okay. But I just wanted to come and share with you guys what happened, because it is very important now that I see, because my babies, they don't have a say-so with this. Like, they can't fight for themselves. I have to be their voice, and if the doctors and all these other specialists out there aren't going to do it, we have to do it. So I'm going to always fight and make sure that whatever's been told to me or whatever I have to do that will positively or negatively affect my babies is the best thing to do. So I'm so glad that I was persistent with getting that ultrasound. So I mean, it just gave me peace of mind for me to physically be able to see them. The Doppler thing, she said it, well, she didn't tell me exactly what the heart rates were, but she said the heart rate was perfect and it was normal. And I said, well, was it the 190? And she was like, absolutely not. So obviously the first people didn't know what they were doing, and it's like stuff like that, like everybody not on the same page. You can just be stressed out, and it just was, the whole experience just really taught me the importance of making sure you fact check people even when they are supposed to have expertise or knowledge about a specific situation. Because now they got me scheduled for an appointment like every other day for this person, that person, this and that, for stuff that I don't even have now. Like, they already put the appointments in the system and are like, you have to meet these appointments, you have, and I don't even have it. Like, it's crazy, you guys. But that's just what happened. I was just being very persistent yesterday to make sure everything was okay with my babies. I did not vlog the whole entire time I was at the hospital. I was not worried about nobody but my babies inside of here, and they are okay. I love them so much. And yeah, that's just what happened. I wanted to come on and just share that so people can just really just, when people tell you stuff, just not to just dismiss it and say that can't be me, but to really get to the bottom of it, especially when you know like causes and concerns for certain things and you just are being told by the spirit like that's not what you have. Like, go into this a little deeper. So yeah, you guys, I am about to go. I need to go eat something again, and I'm gonna try to vlog tomorrow because we do go to the appointment. So obviously I'll vlog and let you guys know what was said. But yeah, I'm feeling much better, and I'm just so happy and that I'm being strong enough to deal with this the best that I can, because those doctors really, like, I don't know, like, you just should have seen my face the whole time. And if I had not been doing my readings on the books and been researching about pregnancies and knowing what numbers and stuff, like knowing all that stuff, and have been like really aware at all of my appointments to hear what the doctors are telling me, I would have probably took what they were saying like, oh, okay, that's the heart rate. Oh, we didn't find another one. Oh, it's okay, you saying it's probably still there, but they just can't hear. Oh, okay. Oh, you don't want me to have the ultrasound. Oh, okay, you just want my blood. Oh, okay. Like all that other craziness. Like, so yeah, everything's okay. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video clip or whatever, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. So here's my outfit of the day. This is the best that I could do. We're gonna see when we get there. I think someone else is bringing me my hat, but I feel like this may go with it. I don't know. I have not been to the mall